guys, this is Flumbus bringing another Infinite Warfare gameplay commentary, and in today's video I kind of want to do a follow-up on the how to play hardcore, so I'm going to talk a little bit about core team deathmatch. So one thing that I want to say right off the bat is that I'm using the wrong specialist for core. It's kind of personal preference, but at the same time there's a certain specialist that you guys have heard me talk about that is far more powerful than any other specialist in core, and that would be phase shift and perception combination on the FTL rig. So you're going to use the perception trait and phase shift for the payload. The reason why you use phase shift and perception is because you generate it extremely fast. Okay, so another thing that I'll talk about with the perk setup in combination with your specialist, I'll talk about a little bit later. But for right now, I want to talk to you guys about phase shift. So first off, like I said, it generates really fast, and it's so overpowered, it needs to be nerfed, honestly, but I don't even know how they could nerf it. So basically, if you don't know, phase shift is where you click both your bumpers at the same time, and it's going to basically teleport you into another dimension. And when you go into that dimension, you can't see anybody and nobody else can see you unless they phase shift at the same time as you, or they're already in phase shift. So that's kind of how you counter it. So if somebody else on the other team is using the FTL rig, pay attention to that. And if they're using phase shift and you are too, you need to be aware of them, because if you phase shift and then they do it at the same time, then you're going to get killed unexpectedly and you're going to be left wondering how it happened. So always be aware of whoever else is using the FTL rig on the other team. Now, phase shift is extremely overpowered because you can use it to push into the enemy spawns, you can use it to break out of spawn traps, you can use it to get into, let's say that the other team is camping really hard. So on this map, for instance, it's a really big issue. In the hotel lobby and the bedroom specifically, people always hold those positions because those are the power positions of the map. And when somebody else is camping those, you can use the phase shift payload and you can walk right into the room without being seen, and then it's like you spawn in the room. You can just kill everyone in the room if you played your cards right. So you may be wondering, how do you know where other people are when you're in phase shift? Well, you're gonna have, if you have a headset, then you're already ahead of the game because you can hear other people's footsteps. Also, when you're in phase shift, you can bump into players because no two players can occupy the same exact spot at the same time. Meaning that if somebody's standing in a doorway and you go into phase shift and you try to walk through that doorway, you're going to bump into them. That's how you know where somebody is. It'll do it to your teammates as well, so be careful and pay extra attention when you're using that payload. The next thing I want to talk about is it's not like hardcore in terms of flying and wall running. So in hardcore, you want to use wall runs to your advantage, okay? You want to fly as much as you can, stay up in the air, wall run, and chain your movements. In core, you almost, I mean, you can do that a little bit, like you see me doing it right here in the video, but what happens when you do that is it makes it harder for you to aim, and in hardcore you really don't have to have very good accuracy if you're close to medium range. If you're long range you do, but in hardcore, like I play on an 8 sensitivity, and for core I play on somewhere between 3 and 5, so 3, 4, or 5 is typically what I use. So with that being said, the next thing is going to be to use prone, because that goes hand in hand with staying on the ground. Now, when you know where somebody's coming from, or let's say you're sitting outside of the spawn and you're watching an area, it's really good to just use prone because people don't expect it as much. They walk around pretty much level-headed aiming up, so the extra like couple of milliseconds that they have to spend looking down, you've already got at least 1 or 2 bullets into them. Next up, I want to talk about using suppressors. So in hardcore there is absolutely no radar, unless somebody else puts up a UAV or advanced UAV, something like that. With that being said, suppressors will keep you off the radar when you're firing, and that's really good when you're outside of an enemy spawn and you're picking people off. It makes it more difficult for them to figure out where you're at. If they don't have a headset, then you're even better, because they're not even going to hear where your bullets are coming from. They don't know if it's coming from straight ahead, behind them, left, or right. You have to have a headset to know those kind of things. Next, Assault rifles and LMGs is what you're going to mainly want to use in core. That's because submachine guns are so weak in this game, and assault rifles and LMGs just naturally have that powerful advantage over the submachine guns. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. There are some SMGs that are decent in core, but they are just not as good as the assault rifles and LMGs. Next up, we're going to talk about perks. So for perks, I personally use Ghost, Scavenger, Dead Silence. And earlier, as I said, when I was talking about the payload options, if you're using Rewind, you're probably not going to want to run Scavenger, because every time you rewind, it replenishes your ammo. So using Scavenger is kind of a waste of a perk when you know that you get Rewind pretty quick too. And if you use that in a dangerous situation, you come back with not only your magazine reloaded for you, but you also replenish all of your ammo in your stash. So you may want to run Hardline, Cold-Blooded, or something else. For score streaks, I run the same thing that I run in Hardcore. I use UAV, Warden, and Advanced UAV for obvious reasons. Now, if you want to maybe trade out the UAV or the Advanced UAV for something higher, like an RC-8 or a Thor, those are really good options as well. So this has just been a quick rundown of a little bit how to play core. I can definitely do a more detailed video on the maps and like what positions you want to use, when you want to use prone, things like that. So let me know how you guys feel about that. Just drop a comment below and let me know if you want to see more videos of how to get better at the game, and I'll definitely put that content out for you guys. Also, don't forget about the giveaway that's coming up at 250 subscribers. So share this video, like it, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any stream alerts or new videos, and the giveaway will be here before you guys know it. And I've gotten some feedback. Somebody said to do an Amazon gift card, and I'm on the fence between that and just letting the winner pick where it's from, because no matter what, it's going to cost me $25 to do the giveaway. So regardless of where it's to, it doesn't really matter to me. So I may just leave it up to everyone else. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.